Hello, welcome to Painting Daily, episode 5. And today we're going to be continuing with this painting. We're going to do a lot of fixes in terms of perspective and proportions, so I hope it's interesting. So the first thing that I'm doing is changing the shape of the crow skull. It wasn't looking too good. I don't feel like it was really showing the perspective well, that it was pointing up too much, like it wasn't in the direction of her head, so I needed to move it a little bit around and also reshape it. Here I'm adding some specular reflection of the feathers because of the lighting on the background, and also adding some shadow under that crow mask. Softening some of the shadows on the leg. And also trying to fix some of proportions in a lot of places. You're gonna see a lot of that in this episode. This suit is not supposed to be super perfect. They make it themselves, and it could look kind of like some places are not perfect looking, so it will show the skin a little bit. There you saw that I just added the other wing on the other side of the body to be more light because of the backlit effect. Proportions on the feet was looking a little bit rough, and also the shape of things overall sometimes it's not really working properly. Something that was really bothering me was the arm, so you're gonna see a lot of changes on the arm today. I feel like that tree branch on the top kind of worked well for me to make it look like she's hiding a little bit more. And here I'm just adding few hairs or feathers, just really thin and long to make a little bit more of variation, and it's not so perfect. Also adding some light colors on the background because it was looking way too gray. Also, it makes things look very foggy, and it's okay, like it's nothing wrong with making things look foggy, but it's looking way too grayish, everything. Correcting some of the shadows because of what's actually going on. That really thin tree branch there, and also the leaf. I had this little like mistake with that leaf going on top because of a cut and paste I did on the last episode, but I transformed it into another leaf going on top of another one, so that's a really nice happy accident right there. And more reflections to the leaves. I was thinking about how to fix the arm, and I was thinking about just cutting it out and warp it again, but it didn't feel like that was gonna cut it. So I decided to just erase the thing completely by creating a new layer and painting on top and redrawing the hand as how I think it should be. For some reason I keep having the idea that the head is looking too big all the time, so maybe I will do something about that on the next episode, but I still don't know. And while I was doing this, I was like, man, I hope I don't have to like that's the proper way to do it, honestly. Make a small photo shoot with a friend or something to make sure your pose and your proportions are correct, but I don't know, I cannot do that right now. So I felt like I'm just gonna grind it and see how I come up with the hand. And honestly, at the end, it doesn't look that bad, I think. And I was kind of happy with the result. You guys will see. I keep in everything in groups, all the progress of a day in a group, so when you download the file on Patreon, you can see the progress of each day in each group for the people that really want to see what different has been. So you want to get access to the PSD, just join my Patreon, and it's kind of cheap. It's not a big deal really, and you can also see some of the progress that I've done on what's gonna be the printed version of my comic book. Not only printed, I intend to make it also on Kindle eventually. So for those people that are interested in seeing how it's looking, that's a good way to do it. The feed also was looking kind of rough. I was also thinking about how unworked they look. It looked like I didn't spend any time working on them, so I just kept working on them a little bit and changing the proportions back and forth. Adding some more brush strokes to that kind of I don't know how to call that in English actually. But anyway, I stretching the leg a little bit because it was looking kind of short, and also the feet back again. A little bit more shadow in this area because of the ambient occlusion or what it is. And yeah, it's starting to look way better in terms of proportions, at least for me. I will probably do some changes on the trunk tomorrow, where she's standing, because I feel like we could take advantage of making it look more like a tree branch instead of just so of a thick tree branch that it just looks like a floor right now. It could look way more like a tree branch, or like more rounded or something. I wonder if that's gonna change what I have with the feet, but I hope it doesn't too much. And actually this character should be looking to the right. Right now it's flipped, but the final painting will be looking to the right because the original character in the comic has that fairy crow, has that crow feathers on her left shoulder. So right now it's on her right one. I decided to add more tree branches in the background here and adding few spots of lighter green so it looks like the light is coming through those leaves. Copy pasting some leaves here and there to make it look more crowded and like she's actually looking through the leaves instead of just being in the open. Helps to sell the idea more, I think. Also, I needed to add a little bit of texture to these areas. It's supposed to be kind of like how you would say that, emboldering? I don't know, but it's kind of like very rough looking. They're good, like they have their skills to make these kinds of things, but it shouldn't look like perfect. It shouldn't look like human made. Already the bones are shaped really nicely, so that's a good indicator of how good they are on styling things. And if you take into consideration like the time, I know it looks like a lot because of the episode. It's 5 episodes and they're roughly 1 hour of work, so I honestly have just painted about 5 hours. if you took all the chapters and combined them together. Probably 6, because some of them are a tiny bit more than just 1 hour, but it will be probably like just 6 hours of work to get to this level. Although it's not really what's happening, because just taking a break and grabbing the illustration next day for 1 more hour helps you think better, I think, on terms of like what the changes that you have to make. Also, when you're not painting, you're thinking about the painting and you're feeling like, hey, if I did this or that, it will look better. So in real time, it will be something like 6 hours, but this actually is taking me days to do, 1 hour every day. So it's not really like a long time if you take that into consideration. Some texture to those bones to make it look a little bit more believable. And I think it's looking pretty cool. Like I love how it's looking. I like the result. I will probably concentrate on the arm that is behind with the weapon tomorrow, because it's looking kind of like unfinished and I really need that. So I think it was a good enough point to start working on some of the roughness of what they should be in terms of like texture and weathering, like how dirty they are because of living on the nature. And I really hope you like what you're watching, like these kinds of content. If you want to support it, again, please join my Patreon or get to the Gumroad page or leave me a comment or a like. It will really mean the world. Thank you very much for watching and see you guys tomorrow.